A ceasefire has been announced between Hamas and Israel. And in this video, I want to unpack what I'm looking at according to BaZi Chinese astrology as to whether or not this ceasefire, this potential for peace, is going to stick. So welcome, my name is Lydia Griffith. This is Firehorse Wisdom. On this channel, I often like to cover current events and political or celebrity astrology or their charts to better understand our own lives and our own astrology. So welcome again. If this sparks interest for you, please subscribe, like, and hit the bell so you don't miss a single video. With all of my current event and political videos, especially, please be kind and respectful in your comments. I do welcome them, absolutely. This is not in any way opinionated. This is just simply looking at BaZi Chinese astrology and the 4 pillars. In the link below, I will put the other videos. I know that there's at least 1, possibly 2, of other videos I've covered on this terrible situation. Nobody wants to see war. Nobody wants to see suffering in our world. And yet, this is part of our human experience. And so I'm not going to get into all of the mechanics of the charts of Palestine and Israel. What I want to look at with you today is just what's happening in this now moment. Okay. So the ceasefire was announced on Thursday, October 9th. Very interesting. So interesting because yesterday was the first day of our month of a Yang fire dog. The dog being all about justice and rising up to protect those who cannot protect themselves. We have a humanitarian crisis going on in Gaza right now, as many people know. So, October 9th, 2025, the BaZi astrology for this day is a yin wood snake year, a yang fire dog month, and the day of a yin metal pig. It is an interesting thing, friends. This is so interesting because there is a lot about this BaZi astrology that is actually emphasizing the astrology that is already currently in place in these 2 countries, I guess you could say, their BaZi astrology. Let's start with Palestine. So one of the things that I recognized in this, when you look at their BaZi astrology, their 4 pillars are a Yang Earth Dragon year, a Yang Water Pig month, a Yang Wood Dog day, and then a Yang Wood Rat hour. This gives me, so interesting, their astrology is landlocked. How curious is that? You have double Yang Earth for the year is a mountain range. Then the month of Yang Water Pig is double water. It is an ocean. So you have a mountain and ocean, the day pillar of Yang Wood Earth, which is big, huge trees on top of another mountain range. And then you have the hour of Yang Wood Rat, which is water by a smaller body of water. And so their day and their year, what signifies their entity as a nation of people, is landlocked. I just find that so interesting. Anyway, so this is also a chart where their day element, which is everything to your BaZi astrology, is ruled by the element of Yang Wood. And wood is nourished by water. This chart is a Zhao bird chart. Is it a chart where there is too much water? Over 45% of this chart is water. And their own element, wood, is 36%. It is also a chart that is too yang. It is too much in the divine masculine. So there is a lot of aggression in this nation. And it is very wet and woody. And actually, when you look at it, it's what I described as a flooded woods. It's kind of like when the ocean comes in too far into land and the trees begin to lose their holding. Again, it's too much of a good thing. It's like continually watering a plant until, the plant just falls over. Its roots drown. It's not a favorable situation. Fire is really what is helpful for this chart. And so when we look at what's happening today, specifically today with the ceasefire and Palestine, we're looking at the day being in opposition to the year, which is interesting because they have a pig month. So there is an emphasis on the government being in conflict today. So it's kind of working against the benefit of the fiery dog coming in for this month for them. But the dog itself, that yang earth, does help to control the water. That is helpful. There's also a semi-water trio that, again, is emphasizing what's already in their chart. It's a balancing act of elements that's working for and against them all at once. This is both Israel and Palestine have conflicted astrology. They will forever be in conflict, either with others or with themselves, depending on their astrology. And also, this comes and goes with years and with the luck cycles that they go through. So for Palestine, this day, like if you take all of the messaging of this now moment for them, this is a time where responsibility, family, home, responsibility is really, really strongly highlighted. Recognizing Hamas's role, taking responsibility for Hamas's role in the violence of this last few years. But there is help coming from the outside. There is support for the people. This month is one of action and movement. It's outside financial aid within a true health crisis. That is going to continue throughout this month. You cannot call a ceasefire and expect everyone that's been starving, suffering to suddenly be fine, right? Not going to happen. This whole month is a pathway to healing. There is rooted in all of this the possibility for change. We can only hope that that is going to be positive change. So we're going to pause with that and let's wrap it all in a prayer for these people. I think this whole situation is just volatile. And my great prayer is that, yes, the help from the outside brings systemic change that begins the healing process. For Israel, their 4 pillars are Yang Earth Rat Year, Yin Earth Pig Month, Yang Water Monkey Day, and Yang Fire Dragon Hour. So the issue going on here is you've got the snake of 2025 and the pig banging up against authority, the role of the government here. There's a lot of agitation going on in this chart. because of the year of the snake and the month of the snake and the day of the pig. So it's like the government and the people of Israel, there is this continuum of challenge and conflict. So for Israel, with this given astrology, and their chart has a lot more flow to it. It has a lot more, as opposed to the landscape I drew for Palestine, there is a lot more of an even flow of the elements that you noticed. Even though the month pillar of yin fire snake, really, it's almost like the role of government, which is where I see the month sitting, is really kind of breaks the flow for Israel. It impedes the ability for the energy to be in harmony. So again, there is this constant conflict. So this is a time for them to take responsibility, take action with financial benefit. Absolutely, Israel is getting money for this. There is some kind of deal that is being made, I'm imagining, with the United States, that is of great benefit, that this is being paid for somehow. This month, government is highlighted, legal action, signing of documents, signing of a ceasefire, passing of laws, and definitely the pathway to peace. This is a great sign. And it's asking Israel to take a new role. When we ask for peace, when we create a ceasefire even in our own lives, and we take responsibility for the actions that we've done, even though this deal is being brokered with financial gain for them, so it's not a pure act of ending a war, but it is saying, yes, peace is possible here. So Israel has to kind of humble itself and take, in that taking of responsibility, recognize that it is being seen in a new light in the world and within the country itself. It's a time of taking action with support from their allies. Very interesting, right? So all of this to say, does this look like something that's going to stick? My prayer is yes. And I also think it's very interesting. The thing that comes to mind for me is this is on the day of a pig at the very start of this month of the dog. Next month is the month of the pig. And if you ask me, my intuitive sense that came to me today is that what began on a day of the pig, by the time we get into November, there will be a far greater expression of what is going to be the outcome of this ceasefire for both Israel and Palestine. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Until next time, friends, please be well.